Okay, so in this demo, I'm going to show you how to take an existing piece of packaging or box that you have deconstructed, bring it into Illustrator, and use that as a template to then draw your die template for your packaging projects. So the first thing we're going to do is go to File and Place. Going to navigate to my folder, which is here, and find my scan or my original photo of my deconstructed box and click place. Once it's placed, it's going to be loaded into my cursor, as you can see here. I'm going to click to drop it in place, and then I'm going to scale it down to a more usable size, if you will. Just a little large. And I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Rotate it 90 degrees and drop it in place. So for right now, all I'm wanting to do is get the basic shape and the structure of this. I can manipulate the sizes of the sides and the front and the back and the top, whatever, to suit my needs. But mostly what I'm looking for are the mechanics of this particular box and how it folds. So now that my image is in place, I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer. I'm going to double click and turn it into a template layer. This is going to allow me to switch between preview and outline mode without losing the actual photograph itself as I draw. You can see it dims it a little bit. The next step is to go ahead and create a new layer, and this layer I'm going to call Die for Die Template. And hit OK. And I'm just going to start drawing. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is turn off my fill color and add a stroke color of 100% cyan. Remember, your die templates need to be color-coded. 100% cyan means trim, 100% magenta is bleed, and 100% yellow will be for live area within the panels to show you where your type should live and not extend past. That's why it's called live area. So, looking at this particular shape, it's pretty simple. This is made up mostly of rectangles. So I'm going to start by just drawing rectangles. So select my rectangle tool, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my first one right here. That looks pretty good. And I want to keep everything consistent. So with my selection tool, I'm going to select, I'm holding Option and Shift, and I'm dragging to the right. You can now see with my smart guides, which is Command U to turn those on, my two rectangles are now overlapping or intersecting. So I'm going to let go. I'm going to scale this one back. And now you'll notice that these two here are the same as these two here. So I'm just going to do that one more time, but this time I'm selecting the two panels that I did. And there we go. Just like that, I've created 4 of the panels for this particular piece. The next thing I'm going to do is this one here. So once again, I'm going to take this one, I'm going to slide over, holding Option and Shift, and I'm going to just scale it back a little bit. With my direct selection tool, or the white arrow, the A key if you will, I'm going to select this one and bring it down. And I'm going to select this one and bring it up. This is a glue panel, so it doesn't have to be perfectly square, but you do want to tuck it in a little bit. Glue would run along here. You can see where it had been glued on this side. These two edges are the two sides that would have been touching originally. So now I'm going to take this one. This time I'm going to do Command C for copy, Command F for paste in place, and then I'm just going to grab the top of that box and scale it down to here. And then one more time, Command C, Command F, and do that again for my flap that tucks in. I'm going to zoom in down here. You'll notice on the original there's a radius edge. So what I'm going to do is with my direct selection tool, I'm just going to click and drag over these two outside points. And then I'm going to grab my little corner widgets and I'm going to radius those in to about 1/4 of an inch. I think that'll be just fine right there. Zoom back out. Things are looking pretty good. The next thing I need to do is create these panels here and here, here and here. So to do that, once again, Command C, Command F, bring this up here, And I'm going to zoom in. You'll notice these ones are a little bit tucked in, so I'm actually going to bring that edge in and bring this edge in just a little bit, and then this point needs to come over to here, and that one is now good to go. Let's duplicate that. I'm going to, again, Shift and Option as I drag over to the side, and with my smart guides, you can now see that they are intersecting perfectly with the centers. I'm going to let that go. Come down here. Again, Command C, Command F. Bring this down to about there. Come in, drag this edge in a little bit. Going to drag this edge in a little bit. And then I'm going to bring this point over, and I'm going to bring this point over. And that should be enough for here. I'm not trying to be super exact with this. If you wanted to, you could switch to the pen tool, which is the key command P, and then hit the plus tool for add anchor point. We could add one there and add one there, and then with our direct selection tool, bump that over, and maybe bump this down a little bit. So now we're being a little bit more closer to the original, if you will. I'm going to zoom out. Once again, going to select, Option and Shift, drag over until I see my smart guides say that we are intersecting with the center. This one needs to then also be flipped because it is a reflection of this one. So we're going to flip vertically, click OK, and we should be golden. Let's zoom out. So the last two that we have to do are these two up here. And we're going to do that the exact same way we've done before. Command C, Command F. Come up. And these, I don't want to get into the complexity of these interlocking panels. So what I'm going to do is just take this corner, bump in a couple of ticks, bump in the same number over here. And then I'm going to bring this over here so everything lines up. And that looks like all of my panels. If I come into the layers and turn off that template, we now have our basis for our die template.